Hey beautiful people, Leticia here, coming to you from beautiful Woodbine Beach in Toronto. I'm gonna show you guys the scene. Look at this. It's about 7 p.m. on Monday, August the 10th. Still a bunch of people left here. So beautiful. There's my little handsome trying his swimming skills. Anyway, I recommend it. If you haven't been to Woodbine Beach yet, I recommend it. As I mentioned in my little video earlier, the washrooms at Sunnyside Pool are open until I think 7:45 p.m. So you won't be left with no options. Ha 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 ha. Good to know. Anyway, I hope you all had an awesome weekend. As you could see, I was in Toronto, where we had another wonderful, hey Andrew, hey everyone. Yeah, we had another awesome freedom gathering at Queen's Park. I got there a bit late, but Tommy Rogers with a D, check out his YouTube channel, Tommy Rogers, RODGERS, number 2. He's been posting videos from our Toronto Freedom Rally as well as Hamilton. I was there in Hamilton yesterday, and at the same time as the Hamilton Rally was happening, we had an event in Kitchener. I wasn't there, but I understand that Vlad and Chris were there to help the budding movement in Kitchener, Ontario. So that makes me very happy. So anyway, everyone, I had a new girlfriend call me yesterday. She actually found out about our movement through my little viral video incident at St. Joseph's, and then she contacted me on Instagram, and a few people have found out about our movement that way. So there's always some goodness that comes out of the darkness. Hey McDonald, hey Mackie. Anyway, this girl was calling me yesterday, kind of wondering, what can we do? I'm so scared about what's going on. And my feeling is, number one, if you haven't already, check out my Humanity Rising YouTube channel. I'll post a link to it in the comments to this live stream, because it is my channel is being shadow banned on there. I do want to say thanks and welcome to all my new subscribers on that channel. Grateful for that. Somehow people are sharing my videos and people are still finding me, despite the fact that if you search for Humanity Rising on YouTube, you're not gonna find me, as far as I know. You may find me by searching for my first name, last name. Anyway, so as many of you who are in the truth and freedom movement, you have been doing your research, and you've been paying attention to what's going on, and you know what's going on in Australia at the moment. And if you think that's far off and not likely to come over here, think again, okay? Our politicians have had so little resistance from Canadians, and it's unfortunate. That being said, I have to give a huge kudos to our Montreal brothers and sisters, our Quebec brothers and sisters. They put out an amazing event, March for Freedom, this Saturday. I posted footage to my Facebook wall as well as my Humanity Rising YouTube channel. Estimates are that from anywhere from 30,000 to 100,000 people were marching for their freedoms in Montreal, against the mask mandates, against the proposed mandatory COVID vaccines. We all know that was coming, guys. Our Prime Minister early on in this pandemic was talking about this will be the new normal until a vaccine is available. Give me a freaking break. We all know the many problems with vaccines, and this particular vaccine in particular. So with that said, people are wondering, what can we do? What can I do? I'm so scared about what's coming. Well, my thoughts are that we have to keep focusing on what we can do versus what we cannot do, because indeed it can be very overwhelming, and it's very easy to kind of like throw our hands up in the air and be like, oh my god, F this, what can I do? I mean, of course, there are those people who are still trusting the government, which is, you know, unbelievable to me at this point in time, considering how much information has come out already. If any of you follow the Dollar Vigilante, if you don't, follow him. He's freaking awesome. He's a Canadian that for the past 10 years has been living in Mexico, and he's been telling people, get out of the USA, get out of Canada. If you follow my Humanity Rising YouTube channel, I posted a video there recently, and I know this is going to be not easy to take in for people, and you do with the information whatever you may want to do, okay? But there's a military website called deagle.com, okay? And again, I reposted a video on my YouTube channel called We're Targeted for Termination. Scary as hell. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. And again, I hope to God this is not true. I hope it's not true, okay? But no, my love, please don't throw big rocks at me. I'm doing a live stream right now. Say hi.
Rock.
Oh, it's a beautiful rock. I know, my love. Mommy's doing a live. I'm recording a video right now. So anyway, guys, my understanding is that there are some places that will be safer to be than others. So if you're living in the USA, Jeff Berwick of Dollar Vigilante likes to call it the USSA, joking that the US is becoming very much like communist USSR. There is a common, so let me get to it. So there's a common code that's being used saying that where the people fear, let's get this, where the people fear government, there is tyranny. Where the government fears people, there is liberty. It's a quote attributed to Thomas Jefferson, one of US's founding fathers. It turns out that, you know, it's doubtful whether he ever said those words, but the quote still rings true for many of us. So where the government fears the people, we have liberty. Where the people fear the government, there is tyranny. And if you haven't noticed, in Canada, in the US, we have big government. The bigger the government, the less freedoms we have and the more power they have. Let's be real, okay? They take a lot of our tax dollars to fund their military, in the US in particular. And again, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Have a look at the video I posted on my Humanity Rising YouTube channel, which talks about internment camps being planned on US soil. Okay, scary as hell. If you are in the United States, you may want to GTFO, sorry to tell you, okay? Or go to the mountains. Okay, so let's talk about solutions. What can we do? And again, you know, I never thought I would be talking about this. Up until months ago, Canada was one of the most desirable places to live. And I would have thought, you know, my parents came to Canada 24 years ago in search of a better life. We escaped formerly communist Romania. We didn't escape. We immigrated legally. People, while Romania was still a communist country, the only way to get out was to escape. And by the way, guess what's happening in Canada and in the US right now? If your passport is expired, hey Joey, if your passport is expired, apparently our government officials are no longer renewing passports. So if you are in Canada or the US and your passport has expired, you're gonna have to find some other ways to get out if it is that you want to get out. You may not want to. I know many people have many reasons why they may want to stay here. They have family that is dependent on them, or many other reasons. That being said, if you look at the video that I posted on my YouTube channel called We're Targeted for Termination, and again, I invite you to do your own research. And I'm clearly not concerned about COVID, as many of you know. What I am concerned about is millimeter wave technology that is being rolled out as we're speaking. Okay, Samantha, I actually sent you the link personally, but I will send it to you. I'll post it on here. There is some stuff that I don't feel super comfortable posting on Facebook because people will say it's so, you know, you're so far out and what have you. But I have been posting stuff to my YouTube channel, so people are welcome to check it out on there. I will post a link, okay? And people can do with the information as they may like. My thinking is you may want to give yourself options in terms of where you might be, and there will be some places in the world that will be safer than others. And again, my intuition is that where government has less power, where the people have more power, those are actually safer places to be. We've come to this country, to Canada, many of us who are immigrants, we came here in search of a better life, thinking that this is a safe country to be in. Look what's happening in Australia right now. Look what's happening in Australia. People are being held at checkpoint, at COVID checkpoints, and their cars, if you refuse to provide identification, you are liable to have your car windows smashed in by the police, okay? If you think, and they have curfews, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., you can't get out of your house, unless you can prove that you're outside for a valid reason, such as work, okay? Whoever freaking thought this could ever happen in a first world country like Australia? So if you think this could not happen in Canada or the US, my friends, wake up, okay? So what are the solutions? I'm looking into solutions myself. You know, I was born in Romania, and even if you were not born in another country, there are certain countries in the world where it's not so hard to obtain residency, legal residency status. Watch the Dollar Vigilante, please. Dollar Vigilante on YouTube. Watch his most recent 2 videos, if nothing else, please, okay? There are some countries in the world when it's not so difficult to obtain residency. And by the way, my friends, you do not have to give up your Canadian citizenship or your Canadian residency to live in a different country. And by the way, I'm sorry to tell you, but I sincerely feel our time is running short. Watch what the World Economic Forum is proposing in terms of our new international travel paradigm, okay? Check out their Twitter, okay? And again, watch the Dollar Vigilante. They are proposing this COVID pass, and they're not the only ones proposing this. You can read all about it, COVID pass. You're gonna have to submit a blood sample in order to do any kind of international travel. They are announcing that this technology will be ready in September of this year. You better believe that they've had it ready way before, just like the vaccines that they're awaiting to put in our bodies, okay? So what I'm saying is our window of opportunity, my friends, unfortunately for international travel, is closing fast. There are still some countries that you can go to. And again, if you're currently receiving any government benefits from Canada or the US, whether it's a pension, child tax benefit, what have you, not to mention rents, or, you know, for those of you who are real estate investors, you're in a better position than most. If you are receiving any benefits here as a Canadian resident, you can still receive them somewhere else, because you do not have to give up your Canadian residency. I can post some information on that, or please message me personally and I'll send you that. As long as you maintain a source of income, in other words, you have to show that you're still maintaining sufficient links to Canada. So for example, you can maintain a property here, your principal residence can be in Canada still, you could rent it out. You can maintain your work here, that is sufficient links to Canada for you to maintain pensions, government benefits, and what have you. And by the way, again, let's talk about you know, a famous book that was written a number of years ago called The 4-Hour Workweek. Now, the author of the book still ended up living in LA because he ended up, or no, sorry, San Francisco, because he's a tech, you know, he's become a millionaire, he can afford to live anywhere. But I mean, one of the main things was that if you can get paid in US dollars ideally, or let's say in Canadian dollars, and pay expenses in a country that where the cost of living is a lot lower, you can literally live like a king in a different country, or like a queen in a different country, for, you know, $1,000 Canadian or USD per month, or even less potentially. I'm looking into my options myself because I'm concerned. If we again, many of us never would have imagined what's happening in Australia right now, or even the US. I'm very concerned that our window of opportunity for international travel is closing very fast. So make your move, do what you can. I'm looking into my options right now. I'm happy to share with you what I'm learning about. Message me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm happy to share this kind of stuff privately. There are options. It's not as hard as you may think. Even when it comes to learning a new language, it's not as hard as you may think. There are apps out there. There's a lot of stuff you can do to empower yourself. There are expat communities. And again, listen, why am I even talking about this? If I had the confidence that we have large numbers of Canadians that are awake and willing to stand their ground and say no thank you to this bullshit, I am extremely inspired by the large scale protests that took place in Montreal this past Saturday. Estimates are between 30,000 to 100,000 people that were marching for their freedoms. And people are messaging me saying, why don't we should have this in every Canadian city? Let's do this, you know? As you all know, I myself and many others, hundreds and maybe even thousands of us, have been gathering in Toronto at Queen's Park every Saturday starting at 12 p.m. and we have our March for Freedom in Toronto. Okay, and I'm wondering, why don't we get higher numbers? Why don't more people stand up for their freedoms? My son is having so much fun in the water. I mean, I have multiple suppositions for that. Number one, because our event is a weekly event, people may feel like, well, you know, I don't have to go this week, I'll go next week, you know, and I won't go next week, I'll go the following week. Those guys are always going to be there. So I think that's part of it. The second part is just general passivity. You know, I am so proud of our Montreal brothers and sisters, our Quebec brothers and sisters. If we had that kind of resistance in every Canadian city, I would be like, yeah, Canada is a safe place to plead. People are not going to put up with this shit, okay? But look at the passivity. We have a few hundred people marching every Saturday at Queen's Park. A few hundred of us. I'm sorry, I'd love to have more faith in Canadians and that they're not going to stand up for this shit. But the numbers, you know, too many people are too comfortable being passive or staying at home. Do you think they're going to stand a chance imposing this shit in Montreal or Quebec when they have those kinds of numbers, 30 to 100,000 people marching on the streets and saying no to mandatory masks? No to mandatory vaccines. We're not going to take it. Fuck you government. We're not going to take it. We need those kinds of numbers in every Canadian city. Now people are saying to me, we need to organize, we need to have something local. Well, again, in Toronto we have a weekly peaceful protest at Queen's Park starting at 12 p.m. every Sunday at Queen's Park. Hugsovermasks.ca, Hugs Over Mask Facebook group. Okay, they are organizing events in cities across Canada. Why don't more people stand up? Do you not see what's happening? Do you not see what's coming? Like, how much longer are you gonna sit on your ass? I'm sorry. I cannot believe myself. I cannot believe how many people are just sitting passively, seeing what is happening. So, no. As long as people are gonna keep sitting passively, when are you gonna wake up? When are you gonna take a stand for your freedoms? When are you gonna say no? I go into stores on a regular basis. I'm the only person without a mask. How much longer? How much longer are Canadians just gonna blindly obey and do as they're told? Not even look into their own rights and freedoms. Not even look into the fact that they have the right to a medical exemption. I shared yesterday, on my Facebook wall a video from a firefighter that shows you that every single type of mask that you put on, whether it's a cloth mask, a surgical mask, or the N95 mask, they all reduce your oxygen within seconds of putting one on. And yet people are still obediently, or quote unquote, for the greater good. I know he's within eyesight. Thanks, Yola. He's around the corner. You know, people are putting them on sheepishly. I don't know what it's gonna take. The Trump, who a lot of people have a lot of faith in, sadly, I'm sorry, he's the same person talking about mobilizing the US military to be ready to help with the vaccination efforts. Do you understand what that means? So is this what's gonna take for people to wake up? You're gonna have to wait until the military is knocking on your door, ready to give you your mandatory COVID vaccine for you to freaking wake up? That's what's gonna take? I'm not gonna wait to see that, okay? And if I'm not able to get out of here on time, well, thank goodness, those of us who are awake, we're talking about creating conscious, independent living communities. If you're, for whatever reason, not able to get out of Canada or not willing to, for whatever reason, connect with your local community. There's a gentleman that's been announcing at our Saturday rallies. He's been talking about, gosh, I don't know the name of the website, but it's going to be a barter community, and he is connected to people. Krishna is his name. Oh my gosh. Check out Tommy Rogers, Tommy space Rogers with a D, Rogers 2 channel. He's been posting footage from our Saturday and the lockdown protests, and one of the gentlemen speaking talks about this barter community that's being formed. There are many other things we can do. Again, I already have recently shared on my Facebook wall in my weekly Money Matters webinars about investing, owning precious metals, owning cryptos. We're gonna need alternatives to the central bank issued cryptocurrencies that are coming, guys, because those cryptos are gonna come with strings attached. The government benefits that we're currently getting, soon enough there's going to be strings attached. You better believe that. They want to, Chris Kai has been talking about this from the beginning. They want to create a whole subgroup of dependents, people dependent on government for their livelihood, for their everyday livelihood. And then, by the way, if you want, and David Icke has been talking about this from the beginning, if you want your meager pittance, you better do as you're told, otherwise no pittance for you. I'm not here to scare you. My whole idea is, what can we do? What can we do? How can we be proactive to save ourselves? Listen, you still believe that Trump or Q or good aliens or Jesus is gonna save you? You know, keep believing that. I mean, again, fantastic. If any of that is true, if any of these beings are gonna come, or any of these people are gonna come and save our asses, fantastic, I'll be happy. But in the meantime, what if that doesn't happen? So, you know, I'm a big fan of that Native American prophecy, Hopi Indian prophecy from the year 2000 called "We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For." Please look it up. It rings true today more than ever. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Take a stance for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, for your children. We are the ones we've been waiting for. There's no knight in shining armor that's gonna save us. If that happens, amazing, I'll be happy. I'm sorry, I cannot wait for Prince Charming or Jesus or anybody else to save me. I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna be proactive. I'm gonna do what I can in light of what our eyes are being open to. Okay, there's so much information out there. The powers not to be have been planning this for decades now. Decades, most likely decades. There are documents dating back to the 70s that talk about psychological warfare, mind control, you name it. And there's been a lot of exposure on that. Again, if you don't believe me, check stopthecrime.net. The website is very messy. Her YouTube channel exposes a lot of stuff. She's just another person like you and I who, you know, actually her background, Deborah Tavares, her background was that she was a real estate developer. She came from a business family. And when the smart meters came about, she was like, whoa. Are there any potential health issues with this? And if there are health issues, who's going to be liable? So she started looking into it, and she found out that herself, as a building owner, she owned apartment buildings with her husband, that if there were any health issues, the utility company owned by the Rothschild family, okay, and she's been doing a lot of exposing of that, was not going to be responsible. She, as the building owner, was going to be responsible for any lawsuits arising from any health issues caused by the smart meters. And by the way, watch the 5G Apocalypse movie. I hope my live stream doesn't get pulled because I mentioned this. 5G Apocalypse is a documentary that is completely banned by YouTube, but you can find it on BitChute, BITCHUTE.com. Look it up so you understand 5G dangers and understand smart meter dangers. There are things you can do to protect yourself. I again don't think the big cities are going to be a good place to be. We're gonna need to get closer to the land. Now, I myself don't have a lot of knowledge in the area yet. There are prepping channels out there that tell people how to prep for the upcoming, unfortunately, planned food shortages. Again, you can check out TSP Prepper, TSP TV. That's one of our local friends here in Toronto that has a channel about prepping. Richie from Boston has another channel called Jailbreak Overlander, where he talks about prepping. I haven't taken the time to look into it enough myself. We're all learning, we're all growing. And again, unfortunately, unlike the powers not to be who have been at this for decades, most of us just now, thanks to COVID, are waking up, opening our eyes to what's going on. And so we are in a little bit in a reactionary mode, but we can do something from wherever we are. My message is keep focusing on what you can do every little day. Every single day you can do something. And again, I do believe that part of what we can do for those of us whose eyes have been open is do our part to keep spreading the word, whether you do that in person, whether you do that on social media. Keep speaking your truth, keep spreading the word as much as you can, because in my understanding, we only need a critical mass of humanity, of humans, to be awake and empowered. And if enough of us say no, and if enough of us stand our ground and say no, thank you, we're not putting up with these tyrannical measures, we're not putting up with this evil, the powers not to be don't stand a chance. Okay, now again, they're busy rolling out 5G and doing what they're doing, chemtrailing, doing all this stuff that they've been working on for decades, up to a century. There are geoengineering patents dating back to the 1920s, and people still question this stuff. Please look at geoengineeringwatch.org. I'm past the point of people calling me a conspiracy theorist. I don't give a damn. Call me whatever you may like. Shit is about to hit the fan. It's already hitting the fan real loud. Wake up. Take a stand. Do what you can. Anyway, I've said enough. Thanks everyone for watching, listening, and thank you for taking a stand. Thank you for doing what you can. Much love to all of you, okay? Hugs. Blessings.